Hello and welcome to the 5-0 Info Show. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis with the Phoenix Police Public Affairs Bureau, joined once again by my co-host, PIO Sgt. Rob Scherer. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, boss. Good to be back.
Yeah. And we're excited to share some information regarding our online reporting expansion, but I want to first introduce our guest, Amy Whitney from the Crime Analysis and Research Unit. All of our criminal intelligence analysts and much, much more. Tell us a little bit about you and what your unit does for us.
Thank you for having me here today. We're excited to announce our CopLogic Citizen Online Reporting expansion in CARU. We call it CARU for short, Crime Analysis and Research Unit. We have crime intelligence analysts. We have specialists who support our analysts and lots of supervisors. So we go into virtually every area of Phoenix PD and support them in the analytical end of it, whether it's predictive analysis and we help with maybe a rash of burglaries that are happening. We can go in and make some predictions on where future hits will be. We work with staffing to help organize the staffing schedules so that they are at the times that the crimes are occurring, and a lot more. We have the CopLogic group, which is the online reporting group as well. So,
all right. Well, share with us this exciting news when it comes to CopLogic is a company that does our online reporting, correct?
Yes.
So, and there's already a plethora of topics or crime topics, crime types that somebody might file an online report versus an in-person report, but we're expanding our online reporting options. Is that correct?
We are. We're expanding to include graffiti and theft. We're calling it theft from business because there are different types within that. We have burglary, shoplifting, and so there's some different depending on if the business is open or closed.
Mm-hmm. And this is huge, though. I mean, they may seem like lesser crime types, but this is actually pretty huge news, isn't it?
It is. It will save a lot of time for the patrol officers out there. They will the business owners, citizens will be able to report online when they have like shoplifting. Let's just use that as an example. They're able to send the report online, and instead of calling in and then waiting for an officer to arrive and take the report, we're able to do that quickly with our officers that are in our CopLogic group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really the thing to take from this, because we all in the department, including us in PIB, it's really about supporting that day-to-day operation of our officers out there, and really doing all we can to allow them, because they're the day-to-day contact with our citizens. And I think it's such a big deal. I mean, the hours that came out in some of this, where I think it's 8 to 12 hours of saved time where officers are not using that time writing these reports, going to that call, taking these theft from businesses or graffitis, and they're able to go to those next calls. We know as supervisors, having one extra person at some of these calls that we go to is immense, and it's huge, and it allows us to be able to serve that public. I commend your unit really pushing this forward, and CARU as a whole is wildly. You could go through 10 different things that you guys do. It's imperative your unit is, but this specific project, being able to save that time, allowing those officers to free up to take those other calls, whether it's a tactical scenario or something we need to support our community with, having that one extra officer is huge for us.
Yeah. What are some of the things that we can look forward to with this new expansion?
Well, we will be able to save a CopLogic officer doing the online reports can go through 8 reports in 1 hour, where it would take an officer 12 hours to do 8 reports. So it's saving the department 11 hours. It's saving the patrol officer the full 12 hours from having to do these reports.
And we know that a sworn police officer is looking at the reports that are submitted online.
Yes, very true. We have 5 at this moment. Starting November 4th, we have an additional officer who's joining our team, and they are sworn officers, and they're very familiar with the Arizona revised statutes and the different codes, so they'll be able to work these pretty easily. It's actually an easily trained kind of position where they're able to go in and review these, make sure they reach out either to the citizen or to the business owner, if there's anything, any additional information that they might need from them.
So sometimes an online report might turn into a follow-up or an in-person thing, depending on the crime type, the situation, right?
Exactly, yes. And the citizen will receive an email confirming their online report has been submitted and accepted, and they'll receive a temporary number, a T number we call it, and they also will receive a link, because sometimes if it's like, say, Target, they'll be able to send surveillance video, any kind of evidence that they can upload to the report as well.
Yeah, so we're talking with Amy Whitney from the CARU unit about the online COBLogic expansion program to our online reporting. What does somebody need to have with them or to have ready before they begin an online report, online police report?
They will need their address, the date of the crime that the crime occurred, the date, today's date when they're submitting it. They'll go through a series of questions that will filter them to the appropriate Arizona revised statute, and you will ask them things like, did this happen in the city of Phoenix? Because we can only accept, crime that happened in the city of Phoenix.
Yeah, well, jurisdiction plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, a big role in it. So it will help the citizen go through these questions and narrow down exactly where the crime type is. So it does it pretty efficiently. And I have to say, this has been like a 10-year project in process. So I'm lucky to come in at the tail end of this and help get it actually online. So we're starting November 1st. That's the go live date, and we're still planning on starting on that date.
Yeah, perfect. So as of now, if I'm a reporting party and I go to phoenix.gov/police, I can see that there is a button that says online reporting that takes me to a page, and I've cheated. I printed out the questions that you were referring to because I don't have them memorized. But some of the things that you'll need to know is, did the incident occur within the city limits of Phoenix? And there should be interactive maps to help you by address to determine whether or not that is the case. And it's also asked, do you have an email address? And not everybody, I suppose, does have an email address.
Maybe not, yes.
But you've also put in there links where somebody can get that email
Yes,
address
if they check no, then some links will pop up for free online, or not, they can register online and get a free email address.
Which they'll have to, of course, check if we have any follow-up questions or anything else that needs to be reached out for. So some of these other questions that we're looking at?
Yeah, obviously if the incident's in progress, I think as officers, but the community needs to understand, if the incident's in progress, do your due diligence, call 911 at that point. Don't jump on. But that's obviously a question. I imagine, if a business, like you said, is routinely going through, this online reporting, maybe they do that, with someone in progress, and that will then, I imagine, direct them, hey, contact the police department, as opposed to going through an online resource. Someone injured as a result of this incident, why exactly are we worried about that one?
When there's physical evidence or possibly, an injury or something, it's a little more critical. Online reporting is more for situations where someone stole something and ran out the store and they don't have the actual suspect there present.
So this is after the fact. Everything's calm. Nobody's detained. No suspects around. Maybe there's evidence that needs to be collected after the fact, but this is kind of later on, not in progress, happening right now, 911, Crime Stop. This is after the fact. Yes. So other things that we need to consider, of course, is there's a question here is, do you believe that you are the victim of a crime because of your race, religion, sexual orientation, handicap, ethnicity, or national origin, or any protected class? That's a separate, that's an in-person response required.
Yes, and if they check that box, they'll be directed to reach out to Crime Stop.
Okay, just again, even if it's not happening right now, but that would be investigated by a different unit.
That's correct. So in a situation, for example, graffiti, if it is on a church parking lot or a school or a cemetery, or if it has language in there that shows bias to a race or religion, anything, maybe even terrorism, that would need to go to Crime Stop.
Okay, so that gets elevated. All right, well, so you can see the rest of the questions once you go on to fill out that online report. But I'd like to play a little game.
Okay.
We're going to have a game show right now on the 50 Info Show.
Awesome. Love
and
these.
So what we're going to do is, as a group, this is going to be some group participation. I'm going to give us a scenario. And we're going to discuss, is it online or in person? Okay, can I jump on a computer and fill out this online report, or should I call Crime Stop and have an in-person report taken? So again, we're celebrating the expansion of the online reporting system where we're adding 2 new crime types, that from a business or graffiti, residential or commercial. For everybody's perspective, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the United States. We take about 2 million calls that come into the dispatch center. We dispatch about 600,000 of those calls, give or take. But a lot of it gets diverted away to other services where you're not. That doesn't mean we don't go. It means it goes to somewhere else that's being handled. But those calls that don't necessarily require an in-person call, there's a lot of online reporting that goes on. So we're going to play this game. I'm going to throw out a scenario, and we're going to discuss, is this online or in person? First one, you return home from vacation and find graffiti on your wall in your neighborhood. Is it online or in person?
Ding, ding, ding.
Amy.
You'd be able to do that online.
Okay, so it's not necessarily your wall, but it's a neighborhood wall, and you see it, and you can go ahead and file an online report for that.
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree?
I agree. I think one of the things that will come up maybe is if there's an element of a bias element to it. I think that may change it, but other than that, that's going to be a call that can be diverted to that online reporting, and then obviously save that time for those officers on the street.
All right, great. Next one. You work retail and loss prevention, caught a shoplifter who obeys and stays on site. Is it online or in person?
I get this one?
Yes.
Do I got to ring the bell? No? That's going to be an in-person response from an officer. Okay. Obviously, we have someone that's eventually going to most likely be held accountable. It's going to, an arrest is going to be involved with that. I don't think that's going to be appropriate for an online reporting.
Do you agree?
I agree.
All right, great. Let's do one more. You wake up to find your car is gone and there's a pile of broken glass on the ground where the car used to be. Is it online or in person?
That's going to be motor vehicle. So I think that's going to be one, I would think, an in-person response. So we go out, and it's because we're going to have to get that vehicle that's potentially stolen in the system really quick. Obviously, there's some historical elements with that, but I think it's important that we get that car into the system as a stolen vehicle as soon as possible.
And also a component of that would be if there's physical evidence, there could be fingerprints on the glass, the broken glass, so we would want to have an officer come out for that.
All right. How about you're on your commute to work, you observe a serious collision. Is that going to be online or in person?
That's in person. If you're a witness, call in 911, let us know. Serious collision, something that we need fire and police to go to as soon as possible. Really any collision, if you're a witness to that, and you're not the victim per se of that incident, make sure we call police and go from there.
All right. All right, last one real quick. Your child tells you that their bike is gone after they left it outside of a friend's house and they have no idea who might have taken it. Online or in person?
That sounds like a good online report to me.
All right, perfect.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Good. All right. Well, Amy, I want to thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been fun. So go to phoenixpolice.com go to phoenix.gov/police.
Yes.
And the online reporting will take you to where all the information is.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. So I want to thank the crew for producing. I want to thank you, the listener. And you can catch all of our episodes on our YouTube channel. I also want to remind everybody that you too can help solve crime in your community by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org or call 480-WITNESS. Visit us on all social media platforms. We are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. And remember, we're all in this together.